It was a little over an hour ago that I was noticing that one of these lights that we put together yesterday, the frame part of it was a little bit crooked. And when I tried to straighten it, excuse me, I accidentally broke the light out of the frame. So I had to glue it back in again. And I was having quite a time with it. It pinged off twice on me, once onto the model table and I found it. Second time it kind of pinged and bounced off me and fell on the floor, but I found it again. I do have it. It's probably about not a whole lot better than it was before. I'm going to give up on these now. What we will try to do today, though, is let's see if we can't do one of these binocular stands with the binoculars on the top. And we're only going to do one. There are 18 of them. I'll do one on camera if I can. Hopefully it's not going to be as long and drawn out as it was yesterday. And the other 17 I'll just try and get them over with. Now, one of the viewers made the comment, and boy can I ever relate. And I'm going to sort of paraphrase a bit because I know I'm not going to get it exactly right. But what he said was that he had been building a model and the photo-etch kind of got him discouraged and he quit. And he's just now going back to it again, and he's decided he's not going to be putting on all this delicate photo-etch. He's just going to, I guess you might say, for the lack of a better way of putting it, he's just going to do the best he can so that he can enjoy it. And I can really, really sympathize with that. Yesterday I was sort of at the place where I sort of wanted to give up too. And I'm not going to, I am going to try and put at least one bracket on here, but I'm thinking to myself, really? Do I need to really have these little brackets mounted on the side of the... I'll put the macro lens on so I can show you better here where they have to go. I think you can probably see it with the magnification the way it is, but I'll move in a little bit closer. Anyway, bottom line is, if you're not enjoying your build, you're going to get discouraged and quit. So in other words, don't do stuff that makes you discouraged. And some people just love these little tiny pieces, and they just revel in something that's a lot smaller than what we were working with yesterday. But I just really wasn't having a good time. Okay, now if I can keep my work here just above this arrow and below this thing right here, it should be in the field of view. Now, you can see here on the side of this pedestal, there's a little protrusion molded out. Now, I do believe that is to indicate what you sort of will be mounting this part in after it is bent. Now, these wings have to be bent probably up because of the way the photo-etch is designed. And so they would go up, and the other one would go, this little tongue would go down. Then what would happen is this little slot that you see in this seat somehow fits into the tongue. It's very similar to what we've made before. I'm just going to go ahead and try and bend this. I wonder if maybe I should try and use Andy's photo-etch bender. Can we actually get this in there and hold it down? Let's just give it a try. Okay, the idea is that I'll just use one of these little small ones here. Might be slightly easier. We'll see. Now you'll notice when Andy machined this thing here, he made it so that there's different widths of fingers, or whatever you would call these things on this side. And we'll just use this most narrow one here. I am going to reposition the camera around a little bit, and we'll come in from the top here looking down at a bit of an angle, and we should be able to catch everything being bent, hopefully in the right direction. Anyway, just let me reposition the camera here. Now, I have mentioned this before, but just in case you're new to the channel, you'll notice on the top of this piece here, where the slots are, it's grooved on this side. See if I can turn it over and show you how it's not grooved on the other side. Well, there, it's sort of pinged in the right way. Notice on this side there's no slots. Okay, I gotta try and hold against myself here to turn this over. There we go. Okay, so what I want to do is bend towards the I was going to say perforation, but it's not a perforation. But you know what I mean. So I'm going to try and get that just right. Just hold it like that. Now, if I can just... Maybe I should be going in just a little bit further. Just back it off here. Sorry about my ugly finger in there. There. Now lower it down. It's clamped in place. Now, where's my razor blade? Just sort of get in underneath there. You know what? I made the mistake of dulling this razor blade. I think I dulled it too much. Okay, now I hope I'm not getting my knuckles in your way. Okay. Back it off a little bit. That's almost square. Whoops. And clamp it down. Maybe I can get underneath better with this one. Now that doesn't happen very often. My battery died. Okay, we'll just continue on here. I have 4 batteries. I just sort of rotate them, and well, one is charging and using another one. I just rotate through all of them. Okay. I do believe we've got it here. Yeah. Okay, this wing that I'm going to be holding onto right now, I do believe it should be bent just a little bit more. I'll just use the tweezers. Okay. Now this tongue thing that I'm holding on to, I think that has to be bent down. Now, of course, we can't bend it down because the photo-etch bender is there, but I'll just bend it down after I get it glued in place. Okay, and in place will be, let's see, maybe I'll use the helping hands to hold this thing. That'll be better. And then this has to be glued onto the side here. Okay, enough poking here. Okay, let's try not to bump anything here again. Maybe I should have the different tweezers. Okay, now I realize that you can't see exactly what I'm doing here because the macro lens has terrible depth of field. But I'm trying to pick this up by the tongue. Whoops. Okay, there, now you can see it. And it's not quite at the right angle. So let me reposition here. Okay, that's still not quite right, but I think you get the idea. Alright, maybe if I was to put a little bit of extra, not extra thin, but the CA thin right there. No, maybe the CA medium would be better. Try this again. Okay, so the idea is this is supposed to go on here like this. Now I don't think that little peg is supposed to be on the upside. I think it's supposed to be on the underside. Something like that. Just let me get a little bit of CA medium and we'll put it on right there. Okay, about 3 or 4 minutes has passed here. Okay, I think we'll just let that cure, and then I'll put a little tiny bit just underneath there just to reinforce. It almost looks like it should come back just a little bit here. You know what? It's cured a bit already. Okay. Well, if that's where it wants to stay, then okay, I think that looks perpendicular. Now, unless you've actually done this sort of thing, you can't really appreciate how awkward it is. Or delicate, maybe I should say. Yeah, and awkward too. Now, this little tongue that I'm touching right now is supposed to be bent up, straight up, so that it's at right angles to this little, what looks like a little platform here. Now, I don't think that I can really grab onto it and twist it. It might be easier to hold onto the tongue and then bend the larger part, the platform. It's just too hard for me to grab hold of it and then twist it like this, if you know what I mean. At least on camera. See, I'm trying to do everything on camera. I enjoy actually doing this. I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong. Let's just give it a little try here. If it pings off, well, we know it didn't work. Okay, let me check the monitor. it's pretty near there. Okay, oh, where did it go now? Okay, I see it. Now you'll notice there's a little slot on one side of these seats. And the idea is that I have to try and turn this over and get that slot. Okay. What I need is sort of like a robot hand that will just keep going round and round. Now, if I turn this like this, is it going to be at the right angle? Obviously not. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, now I know that I've got that slot more or less at the same plane as the tweezers are, if you know what I mean. Let's see if I can turn this over now. Okay, so if I hold the tweezers like this, okay, here's another thought. What if I was to have the little seat, held something like you see it right now, only not on my finger, of course, and then I was to take and drop the tongue of the seat down into the slot. I'd be able to see what I'm doing at the same time. So I just got to think of some way that I can hold this thing. Now if I hold it like this in the tweezers, let's get it back just a little bit here. Now if I was to hold this thing in the tweezers, something like that, there's the danger of gluing it to the tweezers, but maybe I could break it loose later. On the other hand, if the little seat was just sort of loose, so that when I touch the part into the slot, it pulls away. I'm thinking out loud here and not making a whole lot of sense, am I? Okay, right now I've got the piece turned upside down, and the tongue is pointed down. The reason I show these wide shots is so that you can get a better perspective, because I realize that once I move in, like I will be very shortly, you won't be able to tell what I'm doing. Now, my thinking is that if I take one of these okay, and I'll just put it right on the very end here, like that. Whoops. Hey, listen. If I have to suffer, so do you. Okay, that wasn't nice. Okay, get this right out at the very end. And it also has to be orientated. Okay, so the idea will be if I can put it in there, and then lower this down, just in the right place here. Okay, I'm going to slip the macro lens back on again, so that you'll be able to, see in nice and close here. Okay, now I think it has to be angled more around this way. Now if I push down on here, now the idea is if I have a little tiny bit of CA in that hole that we're going down into, when I get it down there, when I lift it back up, it should sort of stay in place. Now, I think I'll probably use the CA thin. I'll just back this off just a little bit here. You know what? I'm doing this backwards. I should have the CA glue on here and then go down into the hole. Also, if you notice, I've got the where I nipped it off. The you might say the place where I cut it off is visible. This whole thing should be maybe turned around. I'm probably gonna, just let me grab hold of it here. Hold it down a little bit. See, can I turn this around? Aww. Okay, I got it turned around. Now I've got it with the good side out. Alright, so that should work. Let's just do another dry run here. Just slowly push this down. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Okay, now let's get a little bit of CA on the tongue. Now, is that the right angle? It looks good to me. Now, see if I can go down now. I think I missed the hole. I missed the hole. No, it's not sticking anymore. Okay, we'll get it, don't worry. More viewers unsubscribing. Okay, here we go. There. That's kind of twisting crooked on me. Can I straighten it? Okay. How does that look? Let me check the monitor. Okay, let's let that cure. Now, I like to be perfectly honest in my videos, and I don't try to make things look better than they really are. I like to show it as it is. And what happened was I accidentally knocked it off, and I had to glue it back on again. But it's glued back on again pretty much the same way as it was before, so if I hadn't said anything, you wouldn't have known the difference. Anyway, you know, I don't know if I actually want to do this 17 more times. I'm going to have to think about it, and I'll let you know tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.